Alright, the next match here is going to be a good one. Every once in a while you look at a match listing for a pay-per-view and you just see one match and you say, you know, this might not be pretty, but this is a match that I want to see. It's not going to be match of the night. It's not going to be a 5-star battle that is talked about from, you know, the next, 4 or 5 months. But it is going to be that one match, that night, that when the show ends, you're like, damn, those guys beat the hell out of each other. I'm talking about going back and seeing a match like two guys like the Warlord going up against Davey Boy Smith. Maybe another like the Warlord going up against Hercules Hernandez. You know, guys like that. Just really, really big dudes. I don't know why I'm in love with the Warlord tonight, but I've been loving going back and watching the old school shows on the WWE Network from that era, and the Warlord seems to be in a lot of matches back in the day. I have never seen a match between the Warlord and Hulk Hogan, but I am looking for one. I might have to go check out YouTube a little bit later. But we have Sheamus going up against Antonio Cesaro. And these guys, to me, honestly, coming in, are going to beat the holy hell out of each other. Every once in a while, Sheamus, the guy who steps up and has a really great match, where he gets the shit kicked out of him that we remember for a real, real long time. Everyone's going to remember the strap match that he was in. I believe the strap match was against Del Rio. The chair match that he had against Big Show, where just the welts just welted up on his back, you know, with his white skin. And I believe that put him out of action for a good little while. Cesaro and Sheamus have had a good little going back and forth for the last little while. Of course, it was a match on Main Event. Everyone had sort of thought that, you know, Sheamus eliminating, Dean Ambrose out of the Battle Royal and winning the United States Championship was sort of like his heel turn. A lot of people were pushing him towards joining Evolution and replacing Big Dave in there. I think that still would have been a pretty big mistake, even though he is sort of like a champion now, and I don't really see a championship, meaning that, you know, it's going to equal in it, meaning that Evolution is any better with him. It sort of kills the name, the stigma of the group, and just the gimmick that's built around them of just basically, I don't see Sheamus as a guy who goes out and goes to strip clubs and blows money left and right. And, that's what Evolution was when it was in its prime with Ric Flair and Triple H. You know, they're going out, I'm going to, stay in the town and party, and I'll just fly in on a helicopter the next day. I see Sheamus as a guy who maybe goes out, drinks a couple of pints, maybe gets in a little fist fight out there in front of the bar, but, at the end of the night, he goes home and fights the good fight. I've seen him as a heel before. To me, I'm always going to remember him running away from the Nexus and yelling for John Cena to come help save the day. But every once in a while, he does step up. He's not one of my favorite guys, but every once in a while, you put two guys in there that want to beat the holy hell out of each other, you're going to get a good match. From here, we've seen these guys go at it. I believe it was on Main Event a few weeks ago. It was Sheamus. He's going to put the United States Championship up on the line against Cesaro. Cesaro, of course, having Paul Heyman. And, he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He's on a pretty good push right now. I was sort of surprised. I thought maybe there was a chance that the title might change hands. Cesaro, of course, going on the upswing. They're going to want to push him, as far as they can before, some people say that he's going to get jealous at Paul Heyman, and then maybe, Brock Lesnar will come back and they'll have a match, or maybe Cesaro will just go as far as he can as the big-time heel before he loses a match against a guy like John Cena in some sort of they have a series of matches. Cesaro doesn't win in the end, but he looks better in the end because he just went through a whole series of matches against John Cena sort of deal. But basically, these guys got in the ring, and they just, they started a fight that they couldn't find a finish to. They brawled all the way through the around the ring and outside. They took the count out, basically. And, during all of this brawl, Cesaro used a steel chair on Sheamus. It didn't really faze him because he jumped up and gave the guy a brogue kick. We saw them battle on Monday Night Raw, and we saw that Cesaro had to cheat to win to beat Sheamus using the outside interference of Paul Heyman. And then you saw Cesaro come down and not want to take the handshake, not want to take the respect of Sheamus. Sheamus, decided, to put the hand out there as saying, they'd had some good matches, and Sheamus was saying that he, respected his, the fight that he brought to the ring. Cesaro, played it off as not wanting to shake his hand, and then, came down and kicked the shit out of him during a match with Alberto Del Rio, and just sort of left him, laying, and then made fun of the fact that Sheamus wanted to shake his hand, almost saying that, like, that was his way of doing it. But I think at the pay-per-view, we're going to have a really good match. These guys are want to beat the hell out of each other. Cesaro is a guy who's hungry. He wants all the attention on him because he wants to be moving up in the way of the world. Sheamus is United States Championship, as United States Champion. He really isn't a barn burner to me. I know that this belt really wasn't defended the whole time that it was in the Shield in the hands of Dean Ambrose, and it's nice to see this have a pay-per-view match, since the last one I can remember was at SummerSlam, between him and RVD in the pre-show. But in my mind, I really am thinking Cesaro's going to win the belt here. I think this is going to be a series of matches. I think that when you look at Payback as a whole, a lot of the big-time feuds are going to be ending, whether if it's because guys are leaving or just because they've had too many matches in a row and just people aren't really going to care anymore. But Cesaro and Sheamus to me is going to be a war. And this is only part number one. I don't see this as a one-match sort of blow-off. I know that, around the corner from here is going to be Money in the Bank. But these guys are going to want to beat the hell out of each other for a good little while. And I think Cesaro, even though his first United States Championship run, I think started out as a good, thumbs up to him. But I think the way it ended, basically, he beating everyone that there was for him to beat on his level, and then trying to elevate other people with him taking DQs, him just flat out losing in non-title matches. It just sort of made you on the whole thing of him being United States Champion. I think that when he was coming out, when he had the big, huge, giant American flag, and, he was, having this series of matches with The Miz, he was at his best, and then it just sort of went downhill from there. In this match, I'm going to pick Cesaro to get the win. Sheamus, as always, is going to have a good match, just beating the hell out of each other. I don't know why I always sort of say Sheamus has a good match. I don't really like the dude that much, but it's going to be fun. I definitely think this is the one I'm going to have my most eyes on, that I really want to see, because I think that it is just going to be boom, just fist-on-fist action, and seeing who's going to be able to up the other guy and walk out of there as United States Champion.